Good day everyone, my name is BUAMS Johnson. I'm a 511 medical student and I am the Public Relations Officer of the Babcock University Association of Medical Students, BUAMS. I'm here to talk to you about coronavirus, what it is, how it is spread, how to prevent it, and some facts and some myths about the virus.
I'll be getting the much needed assistance from a renowned consultant, medical microbiologist, head of Department of Microbiology, and the chairman of the Infection Control Committee of the Babcock University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Charles Elikwu.
Yes, COVID-19 infection.
Coronavirus is a positive sense single-stranded RNA virus. The novel coronavirus, that is the newly found coronavirus, is the SARS-CoV-2, the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. This virus causes the disease COVID-19 or coronavirus disease 19. It has been designated as a public health emergency of international concern by the WHO. And rightly so, because WHO has recorded about 700,000 cases with over 30,000 deaths in 204 countries. And in Nigeria alone, by the 30th of March 2020, 131 confirmed cases have been recorded and 2 deaths. The two most common symptoms of COVID-19 are persistent or continuous dry cough and fever. Persistent or continuous in the sense that it lasts for at least 1 hour, or you have about 3 bouts of severe cough in a day. And the dry cough indicates that there is no sputum production or mucus production. And a fever with a temperature of 37.8 degrees Celsius and above.
However, in this current outbreak, some people have been exposed to this virus and with no single symptoms, and yet they have been contagious. That is, they have been infecting others. Older people or people with immunosuppression may not really show high fever. But other symptoms that follow is a dry, non-productive cough. And then when the patient has had it for about 5 days or more, the patient may also start having some difficulty breathing, which is called dyspnea. Some people that develop symptoms, their symptom may be just from mild to moderate symptoms. These are the kind of people we have in our various isolation centers, especially in Nigeria. But who are the people that will develop a severe symptom or severe illness? These are different categories of patient. One, aged patient. Patients who are older, who have underlying medical conditions, diabetes mellitus, patients who are on cancer chemotherapy, then patients with chronic obstructive airway diseases, even with asthma. The only case of mortality that Nigeria had was also in a patient who was age 65, and the patient had underlying sickness, multiple myeloma. So these are the reasons, because when your immune system is low, then you may not be able to resist the virus as much as you could. Now, that does not mean that young people should go on jubilating or go on disobeying the social distancing rule. If you are young, you can still be infected. You may not have severe illness, but you will be a threat to your immediate family, to your friends, and the entire community.
If you know you have any of the aforementioned symptoms or a recent travel history, pause the video and call any of the numbers seen on the screen.
This infection is transmitted through the droplet means. What does that mean? When the person is coughing or sneezing, which are all part of this infection, this person generates aerosols from the throat, which are released with the force of coughing or sneezing. So these aerosols are carried in the air for a very short time because they are heavy. That's why we call it droplets. Unlike what you call airborne. Airborne is relatively lighter than the infection droplet in airborne is relatively lighter, less than 0.5 micrometer, but in droplets it is more than 0.5, so it is a little bit sustaining here, and can be carried, which cannot go beyond 2 meters.
It can also be spread by touching infected objects that an infected person has coughed upon, sneezed upon, or spoken upon. It's then transferred into the body system by touching any of the areas of the face, the eyes, the nose, or the mouth, the T-zone. Coronavirus is very real and we should take it seriously. It is not a death sentence, but it is very infectious. It has an R naught of about 3, which means one person can transfer it to 3 people, and those 3 people can transfer it to about 9 people. And if it goes on like that for 10 times, one person will be able to transfer that disease to 59,000 people. This is why we need to be very cautious about this disease.
Because a single person infected with COVID-19 virus could infect an entire local government, could also be responsible for infecting the entire state. So this is the reason why all of us must be on board. One is regular hand washing with soap and running water. You can also complement that with the use of alcohol-based sanitizer. You use that because both soap and the alcohol in the sanitizer have the same mechanism of action to disinfect your hands of microorganisms. It's not as if this is specific to COVID-19 virus, but any other pathogen for that matter. Hand hygiene and the use of sanitizer is a very, very laudable strategy, which is cheap and widely available. So the other thing in the prevention includes what we call social distancing.
Social distancing, which means you don't visit anyone, no one visits your house. No social gatherings such as ceremonies, parties, or get-togethers, or even going to the restaurants. No religious gatherings as well.
For the healthcare workers who are caring for these infected people, they definitely will be within the 2 meters, and that is why healthcare workers may have to put on what we call personal protective equipment, which include face mask and especially the N95 type. You may also need to use face shield, and then with the other PPE like the gown, of course your hand gloves and the rest when you are caring for the patient. But for the general public, social distancing is the key. Majority of them are imported cases, that is, they are our citizens who were just recently returned from the affected countries of Europe and the United States, even China. And we now have a small proportion among our current cases that are a reflection of what we call community transmission, that is person-to-person transmission, because some people are now infected that they have never traveled. They have only come in contact with Nigerian citizens that have just returned from the UK or US.
And
cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. If you don't have a tissue, use your elbow. Wash hands often, especially after coughing or sneezing into a tissue.
I believe that every single Nigerian, whether you are a child or a youth, young men, young women, and the elderly, you should be socially responsible enough to stay at home. Reduce your rate of mixing with other people that you don't know their infection status. With that, we'll be able to flatten the curve. The virus can burn out, and very soon we can start talking of declining of infection. It's my prayer that the Lord will help us and put this current pandemic to an end. So to our students, I want to say again, stay at home, stay in your father's home, and avoid any form of social gathering for now. God bless you.
there's a time and season for everything, and this time and season requires you to stay indoors and also better yourself. So in this time of self-isolation, let us do the needful. and stop the spread of this disease. Your family, our nation, and the world needs you to stay safe. Thank you very much, and God bless you.